my awakening beauties, welcome back. Hello everybody, I'm Robin. If this is your first time joining my channel, I really hope it's not too echoey in here. I am in my bathroom and I'm just getting ready I gotta hop on a Zoom call. I'm gonna do a little putting on my makeup while I talk. I figured this is probably a good time. And I'll be discussing the products a little bit, but mostly this is just going to be about some things that are on my mind. I'm starting with the Merit Great Skin. I love this product. I'm wondering how hard it's going to be for me to talk about what's on my mind, plus put on makeup, because I got a lot of stuff on my mind. I'm using the e.l.f. Poreless Primer. So I've been thinking a lot about ruminating and negative self-talk, because I found myself ruminating about some things, and we all do this, and my goal is to stop this in its tracks. And the thing is, I was making the last video that I put up was all about, is it cringy making YouTube content and any kind of social media content? How much do you really want to let people into your lives and for people to know about you? Sorry, I'm just getting my tools ready. And it brought up the part of what got cut off when my phone ran out of storage space was all about how the comments on YouTube can be, very detrimental to people's psychological health. I'm using the buildable blur from Thrive Cosmetics, and this was the e.l.f. Halo Glow. So anyways, the video I was referring to was, oh God, I'm blanking on her name, Gabby, Glam by Gabby or something like that. And she had a very emotional video a few weeks ago, and I was so, man, I felt so bad for her. And I was thinking about how, like, on my other channel with my husband, and this is something that I talked about, but then my phone cut off, that, like, you would get these comments. Now, most of the comments were about what our content was, because, these were people who did not appreciate that ex-Jehovah's Witnesses were very happy in their lives and they had moved on and they had left the teachings behind and no longer believed in the rhetoric that we were served our whole lives. And the most hate would come from people who were maybe not active Jehovah's Witnesses anymore, but had a lot of guilt about the state that they were in. They may have been disfellowshipped, which is like being excommunicated. So they may have still been, a lot of them were disfellowshipped actually, or they were just what is called inactive, which means that they just weren't going to the meetings, they weren't participating, and they had a lot of guilt. They're afraid that they're going to die when Armageddon comes and God was going to kill everybody who was not a Jehovah's Witness. That is their beliefs. So the most hate that we would get would be from the people who were of that persuasion, you could say, that believed it, but thought they were going to die and had a lot of guilt. And so that was coming from fear and shame and guilt on their part. But there were also trolls who loved to talk about my appearance. They like to talk about my personality, my laugh. They thought I had a nervous laugh. They don't know that I am a person who laughs and giggles a lot in my life, and that is just actually my real personality. For some reason, this does not want to go on nicely today, which usually doesn't happen. I think it's just the state of my skin today, and maybe it was that poreless primer, because I don't always use that with this product, so that might be what is happening here. But we're gonna make it work. I'm gonna be on a Zoom call. They don't even care if I'm wearing makeup. This is just for me. So yeah, people would be trolls and they would make fun of my laugh, or they would make fun of my weight. One person said, she'd be pretty if she weren't so fat. Actually just made me laugh. I was like, okay. Delete. No, actually I don't think I deleted those comments. There were very few comments that I would delete. Very few people that I would cancel out. If somebody got really raunchy or something, then yeah, I did take those down, because nobody needs that. You know, the comments can really get to you. And I was talking about, as a content creator, like, you know, how a lot of them are experiencing burnout. And when you get to that point, because you have to constantly put up new content, and that can be a toll, you know. And when this becomes your job, you know, you got to think about what am I going to talk about? What am I going to put up next? And, you know, how am I going to make it interesting? And how am I going to make it so that I can get views and things like that? I mean, I'm just playing with this. For me right now, this channel is, I thought it would help me to stay on track with my no-buy year by having accountability. And what better way than to put it out there for the world to see? I'm using this to help me stay accountable to my goal of doing a no-buy year. And I do think that there's people that this would be valuable to. You know, that other people that have struggled with finances, struggled with shopping addiction, or whatever their reason is. You know, everybody has their own reason for wanting to check out a channel like this. So what I found so sad about what she was saying, and this is the part that got cut off from my last video, was that she was talking about how, like, she was always a very positive person. She was a person who didn't care what other people thought of her. She, you know, was very self-confident and liked who she was. And for a long time, the negative comments didn't get to her. But, you know, after a time, and you're doing so many videos, and you're getting so many comments, this is the e.l.f. putty bronzer, you're getting so many comments and haters that she admitted it was starting to get to her. And I just found that really, really sad, that here is this beautiful woman, very upbeat, positive woman, who doesn't seem like at her, you know, because she has a lot of subscribers, that at her level, that it would really bother her, that, and after the amount of time that she's been on Facebook, that it would get to her. And I just thought, wow, if that's happening to her, could that happen to me? Because right now, like, I'm at a point in my life where, man, even if this was 10 years ago, there would have been no way that, looking the way that I look now, if I was at the same mentality I was 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been putting up videos, because, I mean, I was way more of a perfectionist with my looks, with everything, and self-critical. I used to always I was never happy with who I was. And, you know, it just came to a point in my life, and this would have happened in my late 30s, but I came to a point in my life where I was just like, I just can't hate myself anymore. It's exhausting. It's exhausting to hate yourself. It's unproductive. It's not loving to me. It's the opposite of loving to me. And my weight has always fluctuated. I struggled with my weight as a child, and then now as an adult, it's, you know, it's just been one of those things that it's hard, it's challenging. I'm 4'10", you know, every pound really shows on me. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Oyster Pearl. I love this stuff because it's a one and done. I just want something really quick, and so that's why I'm using this today. But I just came to a point where I just was like, I can't live like this anymore, because my life is passing me by, There were times I wouldn't even leave the house if I felt too fat. If I was bloated or something, I was just like, I can't even face the world. I can't even. And I would decline social invitations even. And I was just like, what am I doing? I've got one life. I've got one life. Who cares? Who cares if I was broken out? Who cares if I gained 10 pounds? Nobody cares. I was the only one that cared. And I just got to a point of like, I was sick and tired. I was sick and tired of myself. So I've grown so much since then, but the one thing I still struggle with, I'm using a liquid liner. That's the one thing I still struggle with, makeup wise. And I want to do a little tiny wing. So I don't think I can talk while I do this. My tiny wing got bigger than I wanted. Let's see if I can clean it up a little bit. And so this is a good lesson in life right here with the makeup, because how much time are we gonna waste in our life trying to be perfect all the time? How much time are we gonna waste holding back in life because it's not just perfect? Not making videos, which I would say was one of the reasons why I wasn't making videos all these years, is because I was like, well, I don't know if I have anything to say, first of all. But second of all, I wanted it to be perfect. So yeah, how much time are we gonna waste trying to be perfect in life? But back to what I was saying about ruminating. I found myself doing a lot of ruminating especially since I had started a new job. It was new, but I had worked there before. And I found myself like, same old story, different day. As I mentioned in a previous video, that the person who I was using to create the rumination, recollecting previous arguments, creating new arguments. Wow, that's interesting, when something that hasn't even happened and you've already created a new argument about it. And I found myself doing that because the person no longer works there. They were let go. And I was still like getting ready for work in the morning and creating an argument with that person in my mind, going through it. And I was like, this person doesn't even work here anymore. What am I doing? Why am I giving them real estate inside of my mind? And it would have been nice for me to be successful at stopping those ruminations even while they were there. I did better. I did better than I have done in the past. I will say that. But it was still happening. So I just said, stop. As it was happening, I was like, this is ridiculous. I am preventing myself from being happy and thinking about things that are more productive and staying in a high state of joy and gratitude, which I had worked on in the morning when I was meditating. And then as I was getting ready, I fell back into old habits. And I'm trying to break those habits. As Dr. Joe says, break the habit of being yourself. So I stopped myself. But I had to have the presence of mind to know that that's what I was doing. So just think about how the thoughts that you're having are creating your personal reality, and how unproductive it is for us to ruminate over things that happened in the past, because we can't change what happened in the past, and all we can do is manage our present moment. If we're creating a future reality based on our present moment, then what is the future reality that we want to create? And if we're thinking about and having emotions connected to those thoughts of negativity, of lack, of being a victim, those are the two big ones in my mind, of lack and being a victim, that create those negative thought patterns. So how are we going to break that cycle so that what we're attracting to our future self is what we want and not this past history of where we've been? And we only have the present moment ever. Well, in the present moment, we have to act, think, and behave as our future self. That's the only way, because there is no future self. There's no future. There's only now. So my current now says, I am abundant. I have so much love in my life. I have enough resources financially. I have more than enough resources financially. I am abundant and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for this job that I have right now. It is bringing me some stability in my life, and I can acknowledge all the things that I'm grateful about that job. And I'm grateful for the people that I work with. I work with the most phenomenal group of human beings, and I'm so fortunate that I have this opportunity. And that's the reality I am creating for myself. And I do think that because I had been focused on that as my current reality, although I did fall into, like I already said, ruminating and having arguments in my mind about things that had happened in the past, I have to think that may have had a little something to do with what actually happened. I mean, you're welcome, everybody. You're welcome. Because this person was not only getting to me, they were getting to a lot of people. Ultimately, they brought it upon themselves. But I do feel like I may have had a small hand in creating the energetic field in my life that brought that reality to me. Who knows? I mean, you can't say it didn't. Nobody can say that didn't have anything to do with it. That's the reality I'm going to live in. And that's, hey, now I'm using the Tower 28. I know I've badmouthed this, but I do find it works pretty good on the lower lash line. And I do have some creasing happening under my eyes, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. Because I've been smiling while I'm putting on my makeup, it's creasing a little bit more. You should remain neutral. Your face should be completely neutral to get a flawless look. I say that the lines on my face are all laugh lines, so at least they're not frowning lines. I'm gonna do a little peach and lily setting spray. I love this stuff. I have City Lips plumping gloss on my lips, so I just kind of wipe that off before I do my lips. So what is the point of this video? I don't want my videos to sound rambling. Sometimes they are, because I have a lot of points that I'm trying to make all at the same time. So ways that I stop myself from ruminating is catch myself in the act, telling myself to stop it, and then knowing that this too shall pass. This situation is going to change. It's not going to always be like this. And just knowing that is a comfort. This is the Lifter Gloss from Maybelline. And the color is 004. That's all I can read. I'm sure there's a name underneath there, but I can't read it. I have to end this video because I'm already late for my Zoom meeting, but I thank you for watching. I hope it's been of some value to you, and that you'll join me for the next one where hopefully my thoughts are a little bit more coherent. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you next time.